Hey everybody, welcome back to InstaPlays here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video about my Fallout 4 DLC speculation. We should be getting close to time, but this one just kind of struck me as I was playing through a new character, where I'm trying to keep the Railroad, the Brotherhood of Steel, and the Minutemen. Well, the Minutemen always survive, but I'm trying to keep them all alive. And so right now, as you can see, here comes the Brotherhood. Their ship to Prydwen. I just got done killing Kellogg, for those of you who have played the game. For those of you who haven't, you don't have to worry about spoilers because you don't even know who he is. But yeah, here's my first bit of DLC speculation. And this is kind of like a no-brainer once you think about it. But we know how Bethesda released the season pass, right? Yeah, well, I have the season pass, and we're all kind of waiting for it, waiting for a little bit of information. A lot of people are saying that we'll be seeing DLC information at the E3 this year, 2016. That because Bethesda is hosting E3 again this year. I find it hard to believe that they're going to make us wait that long, but my bit of speculation for maybe some DLC we'll see, and there's a lot of like hints that they're going to be coming out with a crap ton of DLC. Like, it's not just going to be their normal 3, 4, 5. We might get a little bit more, and I personally hope so. And maybe that is one of the reasons why they're doing stuff with Bethesda E3. Maybe they are making us wait, and that's just because they're going to be bringing out so much stuff, and they're going to do it all at once. And this is why I think that maybe they could. I would hope not, that we don't have to wait till June or whenever it is. But this is my speculation on why I think they could be waiting. Why they might wait till E3 to show us anything about DLC. And that's because we all know how this game has multiple different endings, multiple different factions, and Fallout's never really had that too awful much. Not so much. I mean, it's not like one game's 100% tied into the next, but Fallout 3, this one takes place after Fallout 3, and there's a little kid in the, gosh, what is that called? Where the Pentagon used to be. Oh man, where all the Brotherhood are at in Fallout 3. Oh man, this is gonna kill me. Oh jeez. I know it. The Citadel. I believe that, like, and Elder Maxim, I think his name is, the guy who leads the Brotherhood in this chapter, in this game. He is a little kid. He can be found as a little kid in the Citadel in Fallout 3. So this takes place once he grows up, trains, and becomes an elder. But in Fallout 3, there's really no alternate bits of endings. Like, it just assumed, like, you could turn against the Brotherhood and kill them all. But at the end of the day, you kind of had to work with them, or you wouldn't be able to play the, what was that? The Broken Steel DLC, which added more in-game content and more levels and stuff like that. But they always assume that you'd side with the Brotherhood. Now in this one, as you know, you can side with the Brotherhood of Steel, the Institute, the Railroad, and the Minutemen. Now there are so many different endings to each one. It's huge endings, major differences in the world once you choose your faction. My guess is they're going to have DLC out to continue the story of these factions. Like, so say you join the Brotherhood and you do all their quests and they're the only ones left. I'm pretty sure they'll have a DLC come out where it continues on that bit. Like, where the Brotherhood's the only ones left, or maybe like there's a new challenge that pops up, or just kind of like what they did with Broken Steel, wiping out the remainder of the enemy. And with the Railroad, I'd imagine that might take us, we might see a Railroad DLC where maybe it'll take us to a different location, because the Railroad historically is all about going as far out as possible. And we know in this one, whenever you help some synths escape, they're getting out of the Commonwealth. Maybe we'll go on a caravan or something with a couple synths to get them out, and something happens, and we have to track them down and save them, or something like that. I mean, I just expect we will see DLC that extends in-game content and choices. Because, like I said, this is the first Fallout to have, like, in-game multiple choices where 100% changes how the world is, what goes on in the world. And I don't know how they're gonna make Fallout 5 if we see a Fallout 5. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna say, hey, this is what happened in Fallout 4, because each one of their games, Bethesda's games, and the Elder Scrolls and then Fallouts, there's always a little bit of reference to the previous ones. So Fallout 3 had references from Fallout 2 and all those, and Skyrim had references to Oblivion to Morrowind, all that kind of stuff. But about like how the game ended and a little bit of like, hey, a little bit of confirmation on what happened and how the story eventually ended for that like chapter. But I'd imagine they kind of left us open a little bit with these endings. So I'd imagine that they'll have multiple different DLCs for each different faction. Which I mean, that's a no-brainer if you think about it. Why wouldn't they? I mean, if you think about it, if you played and beaten this game and beaten every faction like I have with every faction, you kind of realize that it's almost kind of lackluster. Like, and that's not generally what Bethesda tends to do. And if they're making such big decisions like this, I'd imagine that it really is a no-brainer. But maybe that's what, if we don't see any DLC till E3, I can guarantee you we're going to see a big bunch of DLC. And it'd only be logical to see them bring out multiple different endings, and just on top of that, other story DLCs. Like you leave the Commonwealth, you go somewhere else. I personally, as a fan of Fallout 3, would love to see them bring us back to a little bit of Washington, D.C., to the capital wasteland. But I highly doubt that'll happen. But I mean, I really wish to see it again in their future games. But yeah, that is my DLC speculation. The first video about what I think DLC will be. Like I said, it's a no-brainer. You think about it, it would make a lot of sense that they have different or extended endings to each one of these groups. And I'd imagine they'd release them all at once. So if you decided with the Institute and you really love the Institute, well then, so you're not let down if they come out with a Brotherhood of Steel or Railroad or vice versa to any of those DLC ending like extensions before who you want to be with. So I mean, I'd imagine they release them all at the same time, and we may just have to wait till E3 to see that. Maybe they'll come out and say like what they did with the Pip-Boy edition, how they were selling it that night and how the app was going to be out that night. That I'd imagine that they could come out and say, hey, this is available tonight. Go get it. Go get these DLCs. Go get these packs. And I really do hope that if we were Season Pass holders, we get a little bit something more, a little extra DLC. Something where maybe not so much of that, just something that makes it worth our while. I mean, it's really already worth our while in the fact that the first DLC is already rumored to be $40, and the Season Pass was $30. So we're already saving $10, and we're pretty much getting the next bit for free. I'm not sure if they still sell the Season Pass, and I know a lot of people are really iffy about that kind of stuff, how it's a scam, but if you really love Bethesda, this is a steal. I mean, financial-wise, it's just a no-brainer to buy a Season Pass for the games you love. And that's just because you will, with every single one, save just a little bit of money, or a good amount of money. I personally would suggest getting the Season Pass, but then again, it's up to you and how much you love this game. So guys, thanks for joining me in this one, and I'll see you in the next one. But just think on that. Different ending extensions, all at the same time, released either at E3 or before. And what we'll see at Fallout 4 and E3. Because, I mean, it's not like they're going to drop Fallout 4 on this new E3. It's just not going to happen. They're going to have something there. But guys, because that's not too far away. It's not too far away. It's a couple months. June, or I think it's June. That's going to be here before we blink. I hate to say that, man, it flies by fast, but it will be here before we blink. But guys, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.